How's it going, everyone? My name is Luxeley, and I'm a Warcraftaholic.
Hey, Lux, how's it
Lux!
going?
How are you,
Yo,
Lux?
good
Glad to
dude,
see
what's
you.
up?
Welcome,
Luckily,
Luxley.
you're a freaking idiot.
Thank you for all the support. I really appreciate it. Just let me know where the coffee and donuts are located. Like I said, my name's Luxley. I'm the Warcraftaholic behind the microphone wearing Demon Hunter pajamas. Unfortunately, I am the bearer of bad news today. Please don't shoot me. I am just the messenger, or in the words of Elton John, don't shoot me. I'm just the piano player. Blizzard announced Legion will be released no later than the third week of September 2016. When I first heard the announcement, I laughed. I just freaking laughed. When I heard the announcement that Blizzard was going to release Warlords of Draenor no later than December, I was pissed off. I made a video and got blasted for it. I was pissed off. Now, I'm not even pissed off. I just laughed because this gives me a taste of what Warlords was like. This gives me a shock-a-buddha to the head and a wake-up call of what Blizzard is like. This is a prime, epic marketing opportunity for Blizzard to have a huge surge of new players in the game because of the movie. And this isn't me inventing marketing. This is 30 years of gaming. This is 30 years of the film industry because people want to see their game become a film. And people who watch a film want to relive the game, whether they buy a token, a little toy, a poster, or a video game. So it's going to spawn a lot of interest, and it has the potential to bring in a lot of new players. And I said in a previous video, it made a lot more sense for Blizzard to introduce WoW 2 with upgraded graphics, have the storyline in sync with the new movie, because what's going to happen when a guy experiences that epic movie, and I strongly believe that movie's going to be epic, and I am greatly looking forward to it. But when somebody who's like 13, 14, 15 years old, who his friends, or his brother's friends might have played WoW. He's heard a lot about WoW, but he never played WoW, and he's played games like Call of Duty and other RPG games with superior graphics. And then he buys World of Warcraft thinking he's going to have orcs versus humans in this epic battle, and he's going to get questing in Elwyn Forest, and he's going to get questing in Deroder. It's ridiculous. Who's going to stick around? Who is going to say, wow, this is epic? You know, it's one thing for a guy like myself who grew up with old school arcade games to take a look at WoW and say, wow, those graphics are amazing. Because I come from a generation where Pac-Man was once amazing, okay? So now, this generation doesn't come from that. They come from games with superior graphics. So they're going to take a look at WoW, and I don't think they're going to give it a fair shot. I mean, they got to go 100 levels before they get to content that is challenging, content that is fun, content that is very social, and that's raiding and PvP. So it's going to be a long road to get there. It really is. And they absolutely positively had to release Legion a month before the movie came out or a month after. That was their window of opportunity. And even if they deliver in August, they're missing the boat. They're missing the boat again. How many times can we make up excuses? Oh, we just want them to get it right. We want all the bugs out of the game. Let's have them deliver a great game. Yeah, how great was Warlords of Draenor? Look how much time they put into it. Do you remember the launch, waiting 3 hours to log on to the game? And then when you did log into the game, it was like walking in quicksand. You know, you were at 10 frames per second. It was ridiculous. Yes, Blizzard made nice on it. They made good on it, and they basically did the right thing by their fans. But I'm not talking about the fans. I'm not talking about preaching to the choir. I'm talking about bringing in new players, which is something Blizzard hasn't done with WoW since the end of Burning Crusade. That's 7 years ago. And this is a big reason why they're not reporting new subscribers. They're going to do away with reporting that. And it could very well mean that it's an indication that Blizzard and World of Warcraft is going to have a different model. It could very well be going free to play. That is a possibility. That would be a smart move at this point, because players waiting around a total of about 14 months raiding HFC are going to get bored. They're bored already. They're bored already. I honestly really feel bad for raiders. I'm not a raider. But I do feel bad for you guys. Blizzard said around the time of Wrath of the Lich King that they realized waiting around for a year doing the same raid over and over again like ICC is a bad business, is bad design, is bad gaming. They said we got it. They even did the right thing and they gave a filler raid just to kind of hold people over until Cataclysm came out. And they made a concerted effort. Granted, didn't solve the problem, but they made the effort at the very least. They had a ton of post-launch support for Wrath of the Lich King with patches, with content. Remember those days? Where are they now? Gone. Just gone. Blizzard doesn't bother with content patches anymore. It's sad. It really is very sad. And they did the same thing in Cataclysm with Dragon Soul. Let you raid it for a full year. They made a mistake twice. And if they didn't learn by then, they did the same thing in MoP with Siege of Orgrimmar. That's the third time they let you raid the last tier for over a year. And guess what? They're going to do it again with Warlords of Draenor and HFC. Now you're going to raid that, not for 12 months, probably for more like 14 fucking months. What happens when you repeat the same problem over and over 4 times in a row? Are you going to be shocked when they do it for a 5th time? No, you're not. Let me give you an example of the merry-go-round of what exactly is going on at Blizzard here. Let's say you have a cold and you go to this particular soup place every time you have a cold because they make great soup and chicken soup is a remedy for a cold. So you go there and you order a bowl of soup and they bring you a soup and there's a cockroach in it. And you say, I don't want this soup, it has a cockroach in it. And they're like, oh, okay, sir. And this isn't the soup Nazi where he's like, no soup for you. They just give you a new bowl of soup, new bowl of chicken soup. And every time you have a cold, you go there. And you go there in the fall, and you go there in the winter, and you go there in the early spring, rainy day, get your soup. And every time you order a soup, they give you a bowl of soup with a cockroach in it. Now, after you do this 3, 4, 5, 6 times in a given year, what are the odds of them bringing you another bowl of soup with a cockroach in it? Pretty damn good, don't you think? I think that's a perfect analogy for Blizzard. They keep doing this over and over and over again. And Blizzard doesn't even have the decency to bring you a real bowl of soup, a better bowl of soup, one without a cockroach. They just disappear. They just disappear entirely altogether. They used to bring you a new bowl of soup. They used to create content that was amazing. They used to have post-launch support with 5, 6 different patches. They had sub-patches in their patches. Now we just get the sub-patches. We don't get any content anymore. It's just shut up and buy the game. It's very, very sad because I see an absolutely enormous potential for Blizzard to make a hell of a lot more money than they're making, for the fans to have something that they are craving and have something be mutually beneficial for everybody, and Blizzard just says, can't even whistle. Out of the pool, it's over, go home. You can sit here and you can say, well, you called this a bad name or you called that a bad name. Words are never going to hurt you. They're never going to hurt me. Because if I tell you I love you and I punch you as hard as I freaking can in the gut, are you going to remember my promises? Are you going to remember my words? No. You're going to think about the pain you felt and the rush of blood to your head because I punched you in the gut. Actions speak louder than words, and Blizzard's actions dictate to me they don't care about the game. And it's very, very sad to me because this game is epic. Even in its worth state, it is better than any other MMO out there, including the MMO that is right now flirting with my passion, which is Guild Wars 2. WoW is still a great MMO, but when I see the devs and I see Blizzard and good old Activision not really caring, I have to kind of think to myself, I think it's time to diversify, because that's precisely what Blizzard is doing. They're more concerned about Heroes of the Storm, Hearthstone, and Overwatch than they are about World of Warcraft. And to me, that's epically sad. I don't think that there's a lot of difference between the movie industry and the gaming industry. And I look at a film franchise like Star Trek that has been running for 50 years. Conventions, Call them Star Trek conventions, same thing as a BlizzCon in a way. Been going on for 50 years, and it's not dying anytime soon. Star Trek doesn't die. Yeah, they had their bad moments, but they came back with a vengeance. And they have a huge amount of fans that will gladly pay for a ticket to see a movie, gladly subscribe to HBO to watch Star Trek on some crazy channel that shows it 24 hours a day, buy the video game, etc., etc., etc. Same thing with Star Wars. Been doing it for 40 years. And now you have this big new film coming out with J.J. Abrams, who incidentally resurrected Star Trek, and I believe he's going to do the same for Star Wars. Two epic franchises, and Blizzard's been around with Warcraft since the RTS game back in the 90s, so they've been around for a solid 20 years. They could have that same thing if they just paid a little bit of attention to WoW. And you could say, well, there's only 5.5 million subscribers, and at its height, knocking on a door of 13 million. True, but how many people actually bought the game and played it for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, a couple of years, and are no longer subscribed? How many people gave a shot at a free trial? Quite a bit. And this game is still in the consciousness of the gaming industry. And yet, they just shit on everybody. They just take something that's epic and they just find ways to ruin it. My best example is Strand of the Ancients, the worst BG imaginable, and they found a way to make it worse when they tried to improve it. They tried to improve Asheran, and they actually found ways to make it worse before they actually made it better. They have such an opportunity. Could you imagine if they introduced World of Warcraft with modern day graphics like you see in a Guild Wars 2 with the same story? How many people would subscribe to that game? Would you pay $25 a month to play that game? I think most people would. Would you buy that game in a heartbeat? I would. I'd introduce that game to my grandchildren. I would think that that would be an epic thing to do. You have a solid 20, 30, 40 million fans out there, of which 5.5 million are currently subscribed. And by the time Legion releases, that number is going to be significantly lower. You're talking 3 to 4 million. And I know some WoW fanboys are going to be like, well, I don't care how many people are playing the game because I just love the game. Well, I have news for you. Less and less people means less and less tanks that you could find to do your raid. Less and less healers that you can find to do a raid. Less and less people that are competent and understand the fights and passionate about raiding that you can raid with. Same thing in PvP, and it's going on now. The queues are back up to 6 to 8 minutes for the Alliance, which is utterly ridiculous. And less people means less people in the game. Queue times go up. Raiding becomes that much more difficult to find competent people to fill out the numbers. Ask WildStar how 40-man raiding went for them. It's not easy to find 40 people. Sometimes it's not even easy to find 10 or 20. People have real lives. People have things to do. I mean, that's just my overall reaction. It's baffling to me. It just is baffling to me. I just see so many generic elementary mistakes that Blizzard is making that I can't think that they're possibly this incompetent. I just think that they don't care. I mean, if you put me on stage to do ballet, I would fuck it up royally. Why? Because I can't dance and I don't care. And I don't think that these guys are idiots. No, they're not. They're the geniuses that created this game. They're the geniuses that maintain this game as long as it's been around. I just don't think they care. Believe me, I don't. And the writing is on the wall to me as a YouTube content producer. They are spending their time on other games. And guess what? I'm going to be doing the same. And any other YouTuber or Twitch streamer who twitches and streams WoW and creates content for WoW, a lot of them are going to be doing the same. And that's sad because this game has absolute, amazing, enormous potential. There's a huge, huge fan base that are just sitting around waiting for greatness. They're sitting around waiting for that cherry high again. And they're reaching onto servers, vanilla servers. They're trying different things in game, trying to keep things fun. And I have news for everybody. I could make a trip to the dentist fun. I could play Minesweeper or Tic-Tac-Toe and make it look fun. I'm a fun guy. I'm full of fungus, man. I can do those things. So it doesn't matter if I'm playing WoW, Guild Wars 2, WildStar, Black Desert. Doesn't matter to me. I'll find a way to make it fun. That's who I am, and that's what I'm about. I just can't believe that they're just literally, there's no other way to say it. They're screwing over raiders, and they've been doing this with Wrath of the Lich King. They've been doing this with Cataclysm, Mop, and Warlords again. And players are wondering, like, Blizzard, why are you doing this? Because they have a track record. So when you tell me third week of September 2016 is not listed in stone, Luxley, it is not a reality, it is not like tomorrow is Saturday, I got news for you. Track record. If it quacks like a duck, if it floats on water like a duck, if its little feet are like web feet or like paddling under the water frantically like a duck, guess what? It's a duck, and this is Blizzard. And they are not going to release this game any sooner than August. I guarantee it. Matter of fact, I will put up my money. I will put up money to your WoW gold that this game does not come out any sooner than August 1st. Let me know how many takers I have. I understand the lore associated with Legion is epic. I understand it. I made a video about it. And if I'm looking for positives, I can find a lot of positives in the lore. Because Warlords of Draenor was all about little pawns and Iron Horde and nothing really scary, and everybody just felt like a puppet. They all felt like a pawn. They felt like somebody's patsy, somebody's stool pigeon. And now, Legion, we're going to take a look and see who the puppeteer is. And what makes Legion so intriguing is there are so many possibilities, intriguing possibilities of who that puppeteer might be. The lore is just absolutely epic and interesting. But I want to have a news flash here, and that is, not everyone plays a game for the lore. Yes, a lot of people do, but there are 3 other reasons why people play a game. And a combination of the lore and those other 3 reasons are why people stick around for a game. Aside from the lore, people play for social reasons. They have a social bond with their guild. They have a social bond with friends that they've been playing with. And that bond might really just be their friends. And WoW is just an XYZ variable of any other given game. They just like to play with their friends. They like to pop on Vent and talk with their guildmates. They want to talk with their friends. Some people just like to hang around in Stormwind while they watch a movie on Netflix or watch a baseball or football game, and they just like to troll people in trade chat. There's a huge social element to the game, in spite of the fact that it's eroded as far as attitude is concerned and as far as people feeling connected to each other within the game. It's been eroding consistently, and that's not Blizzard's fault at all, but the fact is people do play for social reasons. And over my 7 years that I've been playing WoW, I've been in 6 guilds. And out of those 6 guilds, 5 of those guilds broke up. Not because they just had a fight and broke up and disagreement and the guild broke up. They broke up because people left the game. And when the social element, the guys who play the game for the social element, when their friends leave the game, they leave the game as well. And it has a domino effect. Another reason why people play the game is because they want the escapism. They want the escapism and the wonder of the graphics, the wonder of the animations, the wonder of the world that they experience. They want to have choices in what they can do within game, both while they're leveling and the end game. And even if those choices are illusions, and even if those choices are insignificant, it doesn't matter to them. They just want to choose A, B, or C the whole time. That's what they're in it for. The diversity, the choices, the creativity of how they could build their character. And that's what it is that they want, and that's something that's been draining out of the game since Cataclysm. The last reason why people will play a game is because they want a challenge. They want content that is challenging. They want to be able to say, I killed Archimond on Mythic. I achieved 2400 in Arena. They are driven by the challenge, to see how good they can be, to see if they can beat the best that Blizzard throws at them. And from a rating standpoint, I think Blizzard has done a remarkable job at fixing the challenge from a PvE standpoint. From a PvP standpoint, it looks like they're going to make some changes in Legion that I have to wait another fucking 12 months for to see if we're going to have true competition. So there are many reasons, aside from lore, that players play a game. There's the social aspect, there's the whole escapism and having all these choices, and there is the challenge. And when you put your fan base on hold without even any cool music to listen to, you're on hold for another 10 months at the very least, as far as I'm concerned. The junkies like myself, the addicts like myself, are going to find other games now. We've had enough of you, Blizzard. We're going to give WildStar a shot. We're going to give Guild Wars 2 a shot. We're going to give Black Desert a shot if and when it ever comes out. We're going to give SWTOR a shot. We're going to give Elder Scrolls Online a shot. We're going to give Neverwinter a shot. We're going to give Star Trek Online a shot. We're going to give EVE a shot. There's a lot of MMOs out there. And when you can't give your players their crack, their drug of choice, they're going to find another dealer. And that is where Blizzard just drops the ball. Because it's one thing to grab someone's attention, it's another thing to keep their attention. And Blizzard is epically failing at keeping its player base's attention. Players looking at other games. WoW is doing an absolutely wonderful job at sabotaging themselves. And other games are not getting better because they're working at it and improving. They're getting better because WoW is getting worse. And WoW is falling asleep at the switch by not delivering content for a full fucking year. Hey, I understand it's just a video game. I understand that. But I'm also not just a player. I'm a guy who creates content on YouTube, a guy who will eventually be streaming content on Twitch or YouTube. And when I see Blizzard focusing on other games, I'm kind of starting to become a monkey, and I'm probably going to start mimicking the same. I look at guys like Bajira and Asmongold, two WoW YouTubers that I occasionally, and I mean only occasionally, watch, because I'm not a watcher, I'm a producer, but I do occasionally watch them, and both those guys I think are a lot better than I am. They have a better attitude than I do. They're more positive. They're insightful. They have a tremendous amount of energy. They have a tremendous amount of passion. In some ways, I mirror them. In some ways, I have a long way to go. And they're both very experienced, and they're both very skilled as players and as YouTube content producers. And I look at them. They have a great sense of humor. I believe I have a good sense of humor as well. That's where I believe I mirror them. And I look at those guys, and I see, you know what? If they just diversified into other games, they would be 5 times bigger than they are. And if I was 5 times bigger than I am, I think I'd sign on the dotted line regardless of what game it is. Because I'm in it to be a content producer. I'm in it to make it fun. Whatever it is, I'll make it fun. And if there are any fans of Asmongold or Bajir out there, alert them to this video, this particular section. This is a message from Luxeley saying it's time for you guys not to abandon WoW, not to ridicule or blast WoW like I might do, but certainly it's your time to diversify yourself much like Blizzard is, because you're following the ringleader and the ringleader is embracing other games. What does that tell you to do? I got the message loud and clear. This is Luxeley saying whatever it is by you, morning, afternoon, or night, make it awesome. Luxeley out.